I don't get the analytics.
So you know what they used to always say to me? Why don't you smile more? Why don't you laugh more? And I said, you know what I laugh? When someone tells me a funny joke. I'm not just going to...
Do you get the sense that he cares about any of this?
No.
I don't think he cares about anything.
I don't think he cares about
He cares about horses.
What is patois?
Look it up.
How do you even spell patois?
Yes, I already knew you didn't know that one.
I thought it was patois, Patoir. I Googled it, and it pulls up Urban Dictionary. A stupid Frenchman who is a Boy Scout and has sex with a moose.
What?
So how do you spell patois?
I know it's stupid. I don't care.
Just like, come on. And you know why there's pressure on you, pal? You know why there's pressure on you? Because you've never gotten out of the second round.
Hello and welcome to the Athletic NBA Show weekend update, daily ding recap, and we're starting before the Heat and Celtics game is over. Keith, I got a question for you, man.
Yeah.
Is it worse to have Reggie Miller and Stan Van Gundy calling you a quitter for 2 quarters, or for Kevin Harlan to start doing the shout outs to the production staff for a great year in the fourth quarter of game 3 of the conference finals? Man, the Miami Heat absolutely waxed the Boston Celtics today. The game is not over. We're getting started. It's a 29-point game with 1:14 left. Playing the free throw game, I don't think the Heat are going to drop this one.
Yeah, Dave, can I answer? I'm going to say it's worse having the broadcast crew call you quitters when you were the betting favorite to win the title a few days ago.
Just an absolutely gutless performance from the Boston Celtics in this game, Keith. And a lot of it is this. The Miami Heat shot the absolute lights out of the basketball. 18 of 34 from 3, 45 of 80 from the field. So 56%, 53%, and then 17 of 21 from the line. They protected the basketball. Only 9 turnovers in this game. This was a Miami Heat culture basketball clinic.
In some ways, yes. I think the shooting numbers are a little blown out by this fourth quarter. I mean, Gabe Vincent was amazing the whole game. His numbers look otherworldly when you include this garbage time. But like, it wasn't just the shooting performance. And yes, in every one of these games, the Heat smoked the Celtics on 3-pointers, which is not at all what we anticipated or expected coming into the series. But the Heat they're in sync. Like, they're sharp. All their movements have purpose. They're playing with confidence. They're this orchestra that's working together in perfect harmony, and they have confidence. And you just watch them play. It's not that they shot the ball better, for me at least. It was just like, well, they're just generating offense every time up and down the court. They're getting what they want. Bam's hitting guys cutting to the basket for layups. Duncan Robinson is abusing guys off the dribble. And I don't know what happened to this Celtics defense that was amazing the last 2 seasons. I mean, like, at least they've shown they can be amazing. And no, like, the Heat are they're in tune, and they're playing the best basketball maybe of anybody. And it continues to surprise us. Like, no one picked this. People didn't pick this. Like, like maybe before this series, some Heat people did, but I didn't see it. I still think they were like, well, incredible stuff getting here. Now we got a tough task. We know our advantages. We got Jimmy Butler. We got Eric Spoelstra. We got culture. Will that be enough? I'm not sure. Well, it's enough, man. They're embarrassing. Like, they have embarrassed the Boston Celtics. They look by far the most dominant team, and like, they're playing so well together. And then there's the Celtics.
Well, it all started in game 2.
Yeah.
Grant Williams pokes the bear. Jimmy Butler gets fired up. The Heat finished that game on a 24-9 run. And then the first half of this game, which is now officially over, 128-102, Miami Heat go up 3-0. Love doing that like it's breaking news. But, the first half of this game, Keith, Miami's defense held the Celtics to only 46 points, which is the lowest scoring first half in the playoffs for Miami. And then for Boston, excuse me. And then they come out, Keith, and you're thinking, okay, all right, conference finals, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, great players. This is a good team. They're in the conference finals for a reason. Last year's finalists, They only put up 46 points in the first half. Certainly, they're going to come out and light it up in the third. 17 points in the third quarter, Keith. They really did. It was I thought that Stan Van Gundy and Reggie Miller actually took it light on him with how pitiful the effort was. It was pretty sad.
It's one of these weird, it's like a sports movie where the coach somehow gets everyone to play perfectly. It really is. Like, I mean, I don't want to like do a hagiography of like Eric Spoelstra, but like every piece on the Heat has its purpose and everyone is doing their purpose and every shot is what they want it to be. And sometimes the possession breaks down and then you give it to Kyle Lowry and say, Kyle Lowry, just chuck something up. I'm not saying every shot they get is a good shot, but it seems like every single player, they're so just working. There's this machine and the purpose, which Duncan Robinson knows what to do when he checks in. And that Caleb Martin's like, oh, it's my time. Kevin Love's out a little bit early. I had a huge game too. I'm going to come back again and have another incredible game. Like they didn't need Jimmy Butler this game.
Right.
They do not need superhero. I have a cape on my back, Jimmy Butler. This was a team domination. And the Celtics, meanwhile, we say they have the best talent. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, like Marcus Smart. None of those guys are hitting shots.
None.
And Marcus Smart's going to give you the effort. The rest of the dudes, it's just like, what are we doing here? And even though like it wasn't totally a blowout the first half, there was never a moment, I feel like, in the second half of game 2 and in this entire game where you're just like, the Celtics are not playing better. This is not, we're going to get to obviously the Lakers and the Nuggets series. This is not that series where like the Lakers are playing hard. The Lakers are playing well. This is just like, no. The Heat look just like, I don't know. It's a sports movie where it's
they
like
demoralized them.
The coach
They've completely
and the uncoached,
them.
like, oh, this is a pickup team not taking it seriously. And it's like, they look like they haven't played together. This Celtics team's been together forever. Like they have unbelievable roster continuity and it's like they're all learning each other. And I don't know if there's other stuff going on. I don't know if Joe Mazzulla lost his DVD of The Town and couldn't watch it all 4 times this week, but like that team looks broken, crestfallen, defeated. And is it similar to LeBron running up against the Spurs in the year the Spurs were perfect? That finals where the Spurs were like, oh, the Spurs broke basketball. They're now perfect. And that at least was somewhat understandable because the Spurs were amazing all season. This is like, were the Heat in the lab all regular season, just tuning it up? Like, hey man, we got to get going. No, we're tuning it up. Not time for the playoffs. I'm not going to show what I'm working on. It's like, hey man, we're down to the Bulls. And if we lose, we go home in the play. Yeah. And it's like, all right, let's do it now. Engage.
Easy to forget that they actually lost the first play-in game, right? Like this whole
they got dominated by the Hawks.
Started with a loss to the Hawks, who were not good.
This was supposed to be the first round series. I mean, this was supposed to be Celtics. It's better to lose in the conference finals if you're the Celtics to the 8th seed, I guess, than it is to lose in the first round. But man, I mean, this is stunning stuff. Just again, an 8 seed doing this, even if they were whatever regular season 7 seed, but like it's dominant.
Well, they're going to the finals, Keith. This is a finals team that's going to also have the 18th pick in the draft, which is something I have argued. Like, you reward tanking. One of these good and smart teams is going to figure out that you can tank the regular season, get a high enough draft pick that you can continue to cycle through role players. And
they did this for the draft. This is an angle I hadn't considered.
Listen, man, I'm just saying. You get that good draft pick, it makes team building much, much easier. And for all the love they've gotten about undrafted guys and second rounders and G League guys, I'm sure that the 18th pick with that scouting department is certainly a more powerful tool than, the 2-way spot that they seem to have used. I'll tell you that one of the big things that stood out to me in this game, and it's kind of a Celtics issue anyway, these guys complained on every single possession. And to the point that Miami was actually taking advantage of it. Every single time Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum or Marcus Smart complained at the refs or hit the ground looking for a call, Miami is sprinting down court 4 on 5, sometimes 3 on 5, because 2 guys would be back in the play. And that, to me, again, I'm not going to sit here and hammer the coach, but the coach has got to sort that one out. He makes a lineup change, and they go with Al Horford in the starting lineup instead of Rob Williams. I mean, that's a big move right there that probably cost them the game before the game even started. I mean, Rob Williams has been the better big for them in this series. I think if you were going to go one big, that's the guy you kind of want to lean on. And, you can't say that one move cost them the game. But between that and not being able to rein these guys in, get them to chill out, get their heads out of their bottoms, and just get back to playing basketball, like that really was like they lost this one between the ears. It felt like.
Maybe. I just think they ran up against the realization that this other team is better. This other team is sharper. It's coming to grips with the fact that, like, hey, 3 days ago or 5 days ago, I thought I was going to the finals, and realizing, hey, it doesn't matter what happened in the regular season. It doesn't matter what's happened the past 2 seasons. This Heat team right now is better than us. And then you get frustrated. You lean on your talent, and maybe you stop trusting your teammates. Again, like, no Christmas, no sharpness of attack for the Celtics. Like, and again, the Heat are a good defensive team, and they're cohesive. It's just they're all working together. And I'm not even a big like rah, like, oh wow, you got to coach these guys up. Like, I'm usually cynical about coaching in the NBA. I'm like, it's talent. Who has the best players? But this one is just like, I thought it was the Celtics, but no, the way the Heat are working together and banging in threes. And if, like, you're going to get this up and down, I mean, every player, like, if Max Strus is going to compete that hard on defense and just take his open shots when he gets them and he keeps the ball moving, if Bam Adebayo is going to play great defense and going to hit those cutters and he's going to score and he's going to guard the interior. Again, I keep going back in my mind to, like, they didn't even need Jimmy Butler. Like, Jimmy Butler could beat Tobias Harris tonight. They didn't need him. It was such a uniform team attack that the Celtics didn't have any way to stop what was coming at them.
Yeah. Let's talk about another good team. Another team with a lot of chemistry. Another team with a lot of continuity. The number 1 seed, though, in the Western Conference, now up 3-0 on the Lakers after a 119-108 win in Game 3 in LA. We thought this was the game that the Lakers would pick up. If they were gonna win one in LA and maybe split them, this would have been the one, and it just didn't happen for them. They just can't keep up with the Nuggets, man. No matter what they do, the Nuggets can just get away with doing their thing over and over and over again, and they get such consistent results.
They really do. And I thought the Lakers, like, they've been in these games and they've been very, very competitive games. And, like, this is a 3-0 series where it doesn't feel anything like this Celtics Heat series. Like, yeah, the first 2 games were close. Like, the Celtics were in them, but, like, it's felt like, all right, the Heat, they went on the road and they outplayed them. And again, I was shocked by this. I assumed down 0-2, the Celtics would have to respond, and then to get blown out. Like, okay, the Heat or the team. Like, this Lakers Nuggets series, it's been tight. Like, the Lakers have played well, and I think we all thought that the Lakers would keep winning at home. Like, they've won all their home games in the playoffs before Game 3, but you had this huge first half from Jamal Murray. It was still a close game, but then down the stretch, like you said, they always get a good shot or they always work out something, and Jokic finally came through. I mean, the Nuggets were up 2-0, and Jokic had borderline disappearing acts in the fourth quarter. I mean, there's some nuance to that or context. Jamal Murray went off in the fourth quarter, so Jokic didn't have to do anything. But this is a guy who makes 60% of his field goal attempts, and he missed, I think, 7 of his last 8 shots in Game 2, and then didn't do a lot early in Game 3. But fourth quarter, it was just Jokic keeps it coming, and Aaron Gordon's playing well. Michael Porter Jr. had an amazing game, and in that one, it wasn't. Maybe I'm reading too much into body language, but like the Celtics looked like, all right, you quit, you gave up. The Lakers, there was sort of like a, hey, this team's good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep fighting, but all right, this team's good. And yeah, I thought there's a difference to that.
There is a difference. I think there's a huge difference in mindset between the Lakers and the Celtics. Number one, and I think it's, again, this is a coaching thing. This is where you can actually say, I see the coach having an impact. I think Darvin Ham has had a fantastic positive impact to the mindset of the Lakers. Not to mention, LeBron James is actually a pretty good vibes guy when it comes to a team. And the Lakers have had really good vibes this whole time. And you mentioned it. The Lakers are a good basketball team, and they're tough, but they're facing the best team in the league. I mean, the Denver Nuggets are the best team in the league. They have been all year. Nikola Jokic has been the best player in basketball for multiple years now. And this is what it looks like when you're just not quite good enough. And the Nuggets are just that good. I mean, they're able to turn it on and go on a 13-0 run in the fourth quarter and close the game. They're able to build these big leads and not show off wrinkles that are counters to your counter in game one, because they know they can hold on to the lead and then save it for game two. I mean, this is just what they've built this over multiple years at this point. The chemistry is off the charts, but this is a bit of the difference. I think if this Lakers team had started together at the beginning of the season, it's likely they would have found some more stuff than they've already found,
That's
by the
true.
time you
Yeah,
get to
they could have.
playoffs, because they've got good players. I mean, the Austin Reeves
Austin
thing
Reeves
with
has
them,
been unbelievable.
I
believe he has the
playmaking-
most. Austin Reeves has the most 20-point games in any one playoff run for any undrafted player, which is an amazing stat. And by the way, when we say guys are undrafted, that's a fact. We don't mean any disrespect. I think most people are using it as a compliment when talking about the Gabe Vincents. Like, dude, he's undrafted and he's killing you. Like, that isn't a maybe in that context it comes across negatively, but like, the guys are undrafted. It's unbelievable what they've done. It's unbelievable what the Heat have done, developing their guys, and what those players themselves have done to maintain their roles in this league. And it's amazing that the Lakers found Austin Reeves, and Austin Reeves is coming through on the stage. But like you said, they're playing a team that's better, and they're just trying to figure it out. And like, I think a lot of people noticed with the Nuggets winning the first two games that like the Nuggets were having difficulty with Anthony Davis, like everyone else has in the playoffs. Like, Anthony Davis is a beast inside. What do we do when he's just hanging out in the paint as like a help defender? We got to figure this out. And the fact that the Nuggets won those first two games and you didn't feel like they'd solved it at all, not saying they've totally solved it, but you're like, all right, one of these times Jokic might put two and two together. And this one he did. And again, like, you got pretty solid performances up and down the Lakers roster. It was just the Nuggets able to score 35 points in a fourth quarter. And also, I think there's some thought, maybe I would consider it, that just the pace of the series as in the schedule, the every other dayness. We highlighted that, I think, before the Lakers started their entire playoff run. Like, that's going to be a challenge with AD and LeBron going every other day. When the playoffs, you get later in the playoffs and the schedule, the pace quickens up as far as when the games are played. And Jokic, I mean, that guy, cardio machine.
Unbelievable.
Like, maybe doesn't get enough credit for being in unbelievable physical shape. And then you add in the altitude, the travel. Maybe the Nuggets wore down the Lakers that way as well.
Yeah. I guess looking ahead, no team has ever come back from 3-0. We've never had two conference finals end in sweeps in the same year. Is either of those going to break this year, Keith? Are we going to get two sweeps, or is one of the teams going to come back from down?
Listen,
or are we going to get two gentlemen sweeps here?
I would be thrilled with a no wasted motion. Just everyone just bow out. We can have a whole week off. Everyone can catch up on their Netflix.
I've already been thinking about this, and if Miami can sweep, they could go to Denver. They could get a week in elevation.
Oh yeah,
ahead of the NBA Finals, right? I'm thinking, Miami, they've got huge incentive to close it out, but so does Denver. So, and both of these teams, I mean, Denver in particular, they've been very businesslike.
Well, I think
in their approach to the playoffs. So I expect they're pushing. For
I wouldn't expect both series to sweep. I think the question, I'll throw it to you: which team is more likely to not go out sad? Which team is more likely to win Game 4 between the Lakers and the Celtics?
I'd say the Lakers.
Honestly. That's how I feel.
Well, it also lines up like this because the Lakers are playing at home, right? So you expect a little bit better performance from role players. Anthony Davis and LeBron, they don't have to travel. We know that bothers them. Yeah. So hopefully they can give you a max effort game in a couple of days. But also, Boston's playing in Miami. This was the game, and Game 3 was the game. If they were going to pick one up and get hot shooting, this would have been the one. And now they're going to hang out for 2 days in Miami in late May. This is like now a test of their professionalism, right? Can you not just go on vacation for 2 days because it's over? I mean, it's a wrap, right? NBA history is all very clear. No team's ever come back from 3-0. Yeah. I don't think they're built for that. So can they come back and, be a little more, a little less gutless than they were in Game 3, where they really did just kind of give up? Can they come back from that and then 2 days hanging in Miami? That's a question for you, Keith. Like,
I'm just wondering how many Celtics players brought their off-season swimsuits with them so they could leave directly from Miami. I assume they
Go
still,
on vacation.
regardless, they got to go back home to pack for Cancun. So you might as well win a game and then go back. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be prisoner of the moment,
Yeah.
but we're all like, the Celtics were embarrassing and they should be embarrassed and they should feel bad. These guys are unbelievable competitors, some of the best competitors in the world. And if Jason Tatum scores 55 next game, it's not going to be shocking. I don't think. So like, yeah, I would figure that they would, both the Lakers and Celtics do at the very least make this gentleman sweep. I don't think, again, I wasn't expecting a sweep in either one of these series. So I think we're going to get a little bit more basketball. I know the league would like, there's all this talk about like the league doesn't want Nuggets Heat finals. Get out of town. They don't care. They would love that. But also, you know what they don't want? They don't want two sweeps in the conference finals.
That's true.
They do, in fact, want more games. Please, for our advertising partners, we would like to have more games to broadcast.
Well, the Denver Nuggets definitely want another home playoff game. Like,
yeah, you want to sell some more. Yeah, some concessions,
yeah.
Get some merch out the door. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for today's show, folks. Thank you guys for listening. For Keith Parish, I'm Dave DuFour, and this has been the Weekend Update on the Athletic NBA Show.
Ding, ding.